This little segment we like to call Braden's Brain. Braden's got a weird effing brain. And Braden, have not tapped into the inner workings just yet. You say some weird shit sometimes. Not like bad weird, but just intriguing, thought-provoking shit. Okay? We're going to get there, hopefully today. But I don't know what this is that you're going to talk about. So, without any further ado, let's take a peek inside. Braden's Brain. Give us some brain, Braden.
Cam, are you a fan of going to the movie theaters, the cinema, if you will?
Yeah, man. I actually love going to the movies.
As we talked
recently, like the last couple of years, I got a real renaissance in going to the movies.
Me too. I think it's because I
Probably
have
post-COVID, I guess.
Post-COVID. Well, also, I couldn't go to the movie theater for, I don't know, about a year until like Oppenheimer came out.
You couldn't go?
I wasn't allowed to. Too many germs.
Oh. That's true. It is kind of a germy place.
It is a germy place.
But my girlfriend hates going to the movies. Like, hates it.
How come?
Like, because, look, if she's listening, I love her. But she, needs to be on her phone half the time or, pause the movie or, go get some wine or go to the bathroom or something. I think for her and a lot of other people our age, it's tough to be present for 2 hours, or in the case of Oppenheimer, 3 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And look, I needed to take a piss break in Oppenheimer, but I loved that experience. I loved the experience of going to the movies. So I haven't been able to go as much because she won't go with me.
Oh,
We need to start doing some dates to the movies.
You don't like going by yourself?
I will sometimes. I went to Oppenheimer by myself.
I love going by myself.
I thought it was the last movie I really wanted to see in theaters was Challengers.
Yeah.
And which I didn't see.
I think it's still in theaters.
Which I thought might be a stretch going to see that alone.
I saw that alone.
It's a threesome movie.
Not really. It's really just
Was anyone else there alone?
No, it was mostly teenage girls.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I would be even worse than that. If I went alone and all that was in the theaters were teenage girls and it was a threesome movie?
It's not really a threesome movie.
That would be
There's three people. I was a little uncomfortable during it wasn't really a threesome scene. But the so-called
the one from the trailer?
The one from the trailer. I was a little uncomfy in
where
that.
It's the two guys just kissing up Zendaya's neck.
Yeah. And there's also a couple other scenes that take place in a locker room, a male locker room.
Man.
And I've been in a male locker room, so I thought it was fine. But the girls next to me,
I thought it was all well and good. Yeah.
The girls next to me,
they have not, probably.
They thought it was the funniest thing in the world, that they were just old men with their butts out.
Dude, that does happen a lot.
It does happen
I'm guessing this was a tennis country club type of locker room.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go to the gym. Old guys do not care.
They do not.
They will let those things go out, man. They just don't care. And that's a blissful way of living.
And actually, that reminds me, when I was in middle school, my friend, his parents were rich, and so they had a subscription to this country club called the Houstonian.
That sounds very
and we used
only kind of thing.
We used to go to the country club at the end of the school year every year, the start of the summer party, and there was a hot tub.
The whole school?
No, just
his group of friends.
Just his group of friends.
Okay, that's cool. That's pretty cool. Keep him around.
Yeah, he goes here. He goes to Baylor. I see him.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Wow, a rich kid is.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Anyways, I'm in the hot tub. I'm 11 or 12, hanging out with my boys.
Life, man, living the life.
Living the life, honestly. Yeah. And actually, this Braden's brain might switch to. This was a wild day.
Look, this is following the trail of your brain, brother. So go ahead. Started with the movies. Just make note that we started it with you asking if I like going to the movies. Okay.
And I was in the hot tub, and there was this old man, an old Asian man, just paint the picture, and his wife, and I sat on what I thought was the bench. Oh. It turned out it was this guy's lap. Oh. It was his lap. And this dude.
Oh, wait a minute. How tall was this guy? I'm trying to conceptualize. You were actually on his lap? Could you not see the guy?
No, we were in the hot tub. I just didn't realize how close I was to him. I didn't realize he was behind me. And so I sat down.
Oh, wait, how did you not notice he was behind you?
I was looking
confused by this.
I was
I'm hung
looking
up on that.
forward, and I was backing up to sit on like the hot tub bench.
Oh man, that's so weird.
And I sit down, and I quickly realize, oh, I'm sitting on a person that I don't know. And so I get off.
Nothing poking or anything, right?
No.
Okay, good.
I turn around, and this dude just goes, "You sat on me." And that phrase has just stuck
You
in my
sat
head
on me.
for a decade.
Did he say it
now.
like that?
He did.
Is it the guy from Star Trek? What's his name?
Spock?
No,
Worf?
no. I hate to be this guy, but the Asian one on Star Trek?
Oh, Sulu?
Sulu, that's it. He talks like that, right? Pretty matter of fact.
He kind of did sound like Sulu now that I'm talking.
Is it the guy, George Takei?
It was not him. He was
Who I
not
think has since passed. I could be wrong about that.
I think he's alive.
I don't want to bury George
I know
Takei.
Spock died. I was sad when Spock died. Anyways.
Leonard Nimoy?
Yeah.
Massachusetts guy.
The same day, it was in the summer party, and we get home from the country club.
No, George Takei is alive. Sorry, George. It
think
could have
so.
been you.
He's quite active on Twitter.
It could have been you. Yeah, he's a big-time liberal, isn't he?
Yeah.
Like, just in, like, a
And he's
very
been that
unfunny
since,
way.
Since like the 80s.
Yeah, he went to Cal Berkeley. Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
Back when it wasn't cool. Oh, well, I also did forget that George Takei is gay, so he wouldn't have been with his wife.
That's also a big part of the George Takei lore.
Yeah, I did forget about that. So he probably wouldn't have been with his wife in the hot tub?
No.
Just a guess.
So anyway, we get home from the country club.
And he calls you.
George Takei or
the guy whose
from the club?
lap you sat on. He just wanted to see if you wanted to catch dinner or something.
No.
Okay.
We pull into his driveway, and we look across the way, like at the house across the street, and they're just girls our age.
Oh yeah.
Playing Twister in their driveway. I think, like in shaving cream or like soap or whatever.
Okay. Like washing cars, like that kind of thing?
Yeah, which is a little weird to think about now that they were like 12 or 13.
Well, yeah, but so are you. So.
Right. So it's not weird for us. But we're like, okay, I'm gonna name drop this kid. His name is Pierce.
That's a good rich kid name.
Yeah.
My best friend growing up was named Pierce. They weren't like rich. He was just really Irish, but
and we're like, Pierce.
Shout out to Pierce.
Shout out to Pierce. Pierce Dennis. Pierce Dennis, if you know, well, it's not his last name, but his middle name is Dennis.
Okay.
I'm like, we should go hang out with these girls because we don't know if we're going to ever get an opportunity
That's
like
an
this.
opportunity right there, man. Did they go to a different school? Were you in an all-boys school?
I had never seen those girls in my life.
Oh, that perfect opportunity, man. Summer, don't know these girls. They're the same age.
And
okay. Yeah.
Pierce and the other guys around in the group, they were not feeling confident to go hang out with these girls.
Like just being pussies? Just
yeah. I mean, I hate to say it, but we were, I don't know. We were kind of
cool.
We weren't cool.
Yeah.
Because when you go to a private school, there's really two groups of guys. There's the cool athletes, and well, actually, since it was a small private school, most of us were like on sports teams, just because they couldn't afford to not have us. But there was like the cool athletes who knew how to talk to girls.
Yep.
And the rest of us, I hate to say it, we called ourselves the meme team.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
That probably got plenty of gash in high school, I imagine. Like,
well, not in high school. In high school, I was a theater kid.
Oh, even better.
Yeah.
Actually, the theater kids at my high school, that was a cesspool. The band and the theater kids,
it was the band kids
man,
at my school.
Like they were just cesspool, just pass each other around. Like it was a mess. Anyway, back to your story. You're 12 years old.
I'm 12 years old. There are girls outside.
Uh-huh.
And we're like, Pierce, let's go hang out with these girls. And Pierce was like, absolutely not. And so at one point, I guess the girls realized that there were dudes in the house across the street. And so they send like a peace convoy over.
Nice. Yeah, like 4 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To come.
I know how
like,
this works.
What?
I know how this works. I remember being a kid. Yeah.
And they're like, do you want to come hang out with us at our house? And us, not knowing how to talk to girls really, we say, no, that's okay.
come on, dude.
We
I
have
know
a-
you can't talk to girls, but that is like an opportunity in your lap.
Yeah.
Like you're like a guy at the tennis club in the hot tub. This opportunity has just fallen on your lap. And you still said no.
We did say no.
Oh, good Lord.
We had a long night of playing. I don't know what we were playing. Watching our friend play like Five Nights at Freddy's and drinking Mountain Dew.
Experimenting?
No, not that.
You should
Um,
have said yes to the girls.
we should have. But then later, a couple minutes later at least, they forced me out of the house. Like they
What?
throw me out there. I'm like, man, we should have said yes to go talk to these girls. And they're like, fine, if you want to go talk to the girls, go talk to them. And they lock me out of the house.
What time is this at?
This is at this point it's like 7.
Okay, so it's getting late.
Well, yeah, but it's still sun out because it's
Yeah,
Texas in
I
the
know,
summer.
I was kidding.
And of course, I chicken out and I basically beg them to let me back in because girls are scary.
Yeah.
Yeah, girls are scary.
Was that it? Is this the story?
I don't know.
Girls are scary?
I feel like the fact that we 12-year-old boys turned down an opportunity.
That
That's
is
the crux
like
of the
I can
story.
understand being nervous about going to talk to them, but once they come and talk to you, man, like
Yeah,
it's done.
it
We're
was an
good.
olive
We're on
branch. It
an
was an
even
olive
plane here.
branch. Man, I think it probably worked out for the best, just because.
Did it?
I mean, we didn't know what if these girls were.
Did they turn out to be
psychotic.
crack whores or something?
I've
Like-
not seen them in my life again.
Oh my god! Watch them be like supermodels now, like dating NFL players.
Dating
Could have been
NFL
you,
players.
Braden.
Speaking of supermodels,
Yeah.
we're going everywhere today. The first time, 2012. I say the first time, of course, referring to the first time I got cancer.
Yeah, baby.
It
I'm
was
gonna clip that.
it was like around diagnosis time.
Of course, back then we called it the Great Cancer, and then once I got a second one, we became Cancer 1, Cancer 2.
Exactly. Don't time
Great
travel
sick.
back. Don't time travel 2012 and say, "Hey, is this the first cancering?"
That would be such a kick in the balls for 9-year-old Braden.
This must be the first
time?
cancer.
Oh, that's great.
No, but we were there for the hospital diagnosis, doing the tests,
Yeah.
and there just so happens to be like a beauty pageant happening.
Yeah.
Like, in Houston at the time.
Yeah.
Sorry, Zach, if you heard that bump. He's not even in here. But I don't know. They came in. I got headshots from all of them, which just like pictures.
Yeah, of course.
And there's a picture of me somewhere with 20 or 30, I guess,
Damn,
like college
man.
age.
Like Miss America type stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like Miss Texas, probably.
Hell yeah. Actually, would you believe me if I told you I had a Miss Texas story before we get out of this segment?
Sure, go ahead.
So, when I was working at Baylor, I was working as an admissions counselor.
Oh, yeah.
And have I told you this story?
You have, but go ahead.
Okay. So, I've probably even told you the director's cut. So, every year, Miss Texas would invite admissions counselors because there's a scholarship that goes with getting Miss Texas or placing in Miss Texas, whatever. And so they would bring admissions counselors on because it would be like, what would this person be a good representative, someone that you would want at your school? And some counselors would like have extra scholarships to give out, shit like that. So they asked me like, hey, do you want to go? You'll get 2 comp days out of it. And I was a sucker for a comp day, right? 3-4 day
Right.
weekends. So I was like,
Love it.
why not? Sure. It was in Dallas, which if you're outside of here, that's an hour and a half drive from Waco. But we had people who lived in Dallas, like regionals who lived in Dallas. And I was like, that's kind of weird that they're not doing it. But sure, I'll do it. Because I really didn't have much of a choice, actually. Like, I loved getting the comp days, but there's a reason why they gave 2 comp days. I didn't really have a choice. So I was like, okay. But I was nervous. I'm like, am I going to have to see, like, 16, 17-year-olds in, like, bikinis or something? Like, this seems very odd. Good news is I didn't have to be that. So I drive up at, like, 5 in the freaking morning. The thing starts at 7:15. Dallas traffic getting in. And I go there, and it's luckily just an interview panel. And they had a Miss Teen Texas and Miss Texas. So Miss Teen Texas is like 12 to 15, maybe 16. And so I was like, please, God, don't be that one. Just don't be that one. I just don't want to judge anybody at that age, boy, girl, swimsuit or otherwise. Like, I don't want to judge 13-year-olds. Like, I just don't want to do it.
Valid.
So I get regular Miss Texas, which is, I think, 17 and above. So people that I would talk to for this job anyway. And so they're asking all these interview questions. We sometimes pipe in and we'll take notes. And by the way, the chick next to me, I was trying to like follow along with her on the first couple just to see how to score it.
Right.
And after like 3 or 4, I'm like, this girl's a bitch, man. She's giving them like 4 out of 10. So I'm like, this is really mean. Like, they're not that bad. And the guy that runs it is like, does every Miss Texas competition. He's like a 35-year-old man, married to a woman, man. And he has like these questions that he'll pick out of, like, you know, kind of topical questions, right? And there's this girl who is on the young side, it's probably 17 or 18, from El Paso, who gets one of his canned questions, which he had asked like 10 times that day. What do you think of cancel culture? Has it gone too far? Braden, you're going to get a kick out of this one, because she goes, thinks about it. They only have like 3 minutes, so time is precious. She's thinking about it for a couple seconds. She goes, okay, honestly, I don't really love it. My grandmother passed away from that. And I was like, whoa, what? Your grandmother got canceled to death? and she starts talking. I don't even like. I'm blacked out at this point because it's such a wild thing for me to hear. And she goes on for another like 5 seconds, maybe 10. And the guy goes, whoa, sorry. I don't mean to cut you off, but I just want you to know, I think we're getting our wires crossed. I'm talking about cancel culture. She goes, oh, I thought you said cancer culture. And I was like, what the fuck does that even mean? What does I know she's a kid and this is an intimidating situation, but ask for a follow-up. There's no such thing as cancer culture. Well, I guess you went to a camp for cancer kids, so maybe. Yeah. Like cancer culture? Like that's what you thought this was? It gets even better because he's like, oh no, cancel culture. And she goes, I don't really know what that is. Like, this is the year 2023 at this point.
Oh, this was last year?
Yeah. Someone doesn't know what cancel culture is, so he explains it to her. And she ends up giving, I don't know, some canned answer, and she runs out of time. And I'm like, damn, man. Like, she should have got 2 more answers in there for other questions. This is going to be really tough on her. And I thought about it all freaking day, Braden. This was like 10 in the morning. I thought about it all day. I thought about it all weekend. Like, how does she not know what cancel culture is? Like, El Paso, it's pretty isolated. Maybe things take a while to get there. Like, culturally. Like, what? How does she not know this? And how does she explain to, like, you know, her mom or whomever's with her that they've worked for months and months and months, and through, like, no fault of her own, kind of flubs this interview because she didn't know what cancel culture was. Like, the poor girl, man. These people work like all year for this. Oh man. And then there was another one who just like had no interest in being there at all, which was very, very funny. Everyone gave her like a 1 out of 10 because she had no good answers. I think I gave her like an 8.5. So it's just like, hell yeah, this chick doesn't give a shit at all. And like, yeah, it's just like, I really don't care to be here. And it was in this business park that was not near anything to eat for lunch. And it was just, I had to pay to park. It was just a pain in the ass. It was like 7 to 5. So 5 in the morning leaving my house to getting home at probably 7 p.m. It sucked, but I did get 2 comp days out of it. I had a funny story about it.
And now you know what cancer culture is.
And now I know what cancer culture is because I know you a little bit better. And all that to say, a long way of saying, yes, Braden, I do like going to the movies.
Me too.
We are Rogue Media Sports.